Hello everyone. So I thought I'd make a video about affirmations and how to do them the right way. So let's just start out first with what's an affirmation. An affirmation is affirming something to be true. You know, these I am statements: I am confident, I am beautiful, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am lovable. All of these beautiful things that we know that's true about me and you. However, there may be parts of us, I'm going to say parts because, our body's been running in a certain way and we've trained ourselves to believe something different, because if we're not feeling lovable, then our system's running on unlovability. And even though we know intellectually it's not true, 95%, which is our subconscious mind, is running in that way. And however we feel at our core, so our core is kind of like this like, I don't know, circle or whatever. Think of it as a circle. So the affirmation is in the middle of the circle. And everything that's around us, so our life journey, our life experience, is created from that, which people call a core belief. And that core belief is filtering everything we think, feel, do, and see. And until we get to understand what that really is going on internally, we can't really shift it, and we work with it. It's a daily basis. Sometimes it can happen in an instant. Sometimes that energy just shifts. You're like, whoa, it's like, and that's what I do. I take you into that energy so that energy flows differently in our bodies, because there's a groove. I think Joe Dispenza talks about this. There's a groove in our minds, because the more we do something, the more we train our mind and bodies to be a certain way. And that groove is ingrained, especially if you've done it for a long time. It's just these automatic ways of seeing, thinking, being, and doing. And, it's how we show up in relationship. It's how we show up in work. It's how we show up in life in general. And it's become our self-image. And how can a core belief become our self-image? Well, that actually is our self-image, And what's a self-image? It's ideas, concepts, beliefs, things that we picked up along the way, and picked up, but actual experience and concluded about ourselves along the way. Say if you had trauma, a lot of trauma, hurt, pain, or whatever, you might have bought into the misunderstanding that you're unlovable, you're unworthy, and you don't deserve. For me, I bought into misunderstanding that I didn't deserve to live. And a lot of my behaviors that I did out here were automatic responses from that core belief. So what we want to do is we want to work with the core belief. We don't want to try to change the behaviors out here. We don't want to try to say, for instance, if you struggle with an addiction, an eating disorder, anxiety, depression, a lot of people try to fix the symptom, but the symptom is the effect of a cause that's going on deeper. A lot of people will take medication or, try to change the outer, especially with me with the eating disorder. I was in and out of hospitals and treatment centers for over 23 years. They medicated me. They put weight on me every time, because I had anorexia. Every time I left, I lose the weight, because there was so much more to it. So when you're working on the surface level, you don't really get to the deep understanding of shifting that energy. And how our energy flows in our system is how we experience our life. If somebody has a core belief that they don't deserve to live, guess how they're going to be, quote, living their life? They're not. They're going to find any way possible to sabotage themselves, to limit themselves, to not let themselves experience it. And it's not going on consciously. Most of us don't do this consciously. This is all subconscious, and we think it's the right way to be because we have this belief that confirms that, right? So we want to work with the beliefs. We want to work with the core beliefs. We want to work with the energy. We want to have a better understanding. It's not to beat ourselves up. It's to love ourselves. It's to understand ourselves better. It's to really get to know those parts of us that we've tried to hide because they weren't accepted by other people's eyes. And every time they come out and they say, hey, look at me, we're like, no, you go back down there because you're not accepted, and I'm not going to let you come out because people will scream at you, people will hurt you. A lot of this happens when people are growing their business or start to speak or make videos like this. I went through this myself, and writing books and putting it out in the world. It's like, how dare you do that? And all those voices that came up along the way, and I lovingly worked with myself through that. And such a beautiful thing when we get to that point where, hey, you know what, we don't let the critic control our lives. We actually love ourselves enough and do whatever we can to loosen that power that the critic has over us, and know what that critic is attached to, because a lot of times those critical voices are attached to our parents, so we really believe them and we don't want to let them go because they're attached to our parents. And I did a process recently with that too, and both my parents have moved into non-physical, and they're not that critical voice, and I was able to really hold on to the love. And you could do that whether your parents are here in physical reality or in non-physical reality, because you can still love your parents and even the way they treated you, because they're not their behavior. And everybody in the world, we could love everybody, because a lot of times human beings, we're so conditioned to not like the person because of their behavior, and that's all conditional love. It's like, oh, if they do da 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 da, then I will allow myself to share love with them or love them or whatever, or see them in their highest light or whatever. But if they're being rude, if they're being mean, if there is, of course, in certain situations, get out of there because you don't deserve that. But at the same token, it's like you don't need to block that flow of love, because when you block that flow of love, you only hurt yourself. A lot of times if we're angry, the only reason why we're actually feeling that because we're blocking the flow of love. For now, we're blocking the flow of love. We need to understand that, because we don't want to hurt ourselves because of how another person's being, or even our perception about how they're being. A lot of times it's just perception, but some people are mean. That's just the world, because a lot of people don't know how to handle their emotions. So instead, they project it outwards. Instead, they're like, oh my God, I can't handle it. Who can I find? Oh, you. They just like bash on you. And you're like, whoa, where did that come from? All you did was say hi. So, it's just like, just know that no, you didn't attract that because of your energy, and or maybe you did because of your energy. There's a lot of subconscious things that are going on. So the thing is to be aware. Now, how do we become aware if it's because of our energy or if it's just because of a mean person? It's like, well, if it's a mean person and you're not triggered by it, then it's not your energy, it's just them. If you're triggered by that, if you have an emotional reaction, then there's something going on with you. A lot of times when we just heal something or we've shifted something, sometimes that energy will come up for us to see. And if we can have compassion for the other being, because we're really having compassion for that part of ourselves who's actually was being mirrored by that person. I experienced this with an experience that I had, and it was just so beautiful. A lot of people said, no, get away from her. And I was just like, there's something I'm learning here. And it was a good thing, because she was actually revealing a part of me that was being mean to me. And I got to look at that part and love that part and hold that part and embrace that part and understand that part and where it's coming from. So a lot of times, people in the world, in fact, probably 95% of the time, the people in the world are actually helping us in so many ways see the parts of us that are hidden. Now, it's not only the quote mean, negative aspects of us, there's also the great qualities of us. Those people that we're quote jealous of, or those people that we fall in love with, like movie stars or whatever, or even people on Facebook who inspire us, and or anywhere, not just Facebook, but you know what I'm saying. Those are like our projection too. So also pay attention to your positive projections. Where are you not embracing that part of you that you're positively projecting onto others? Such a beautiful thing when we can see that, because the world is a mirror. Everything is us pushed out. How we view the situation is us pushed out. It's not necessarily how the person's being, and that's where we need to have the better understanding with that, because we live in a world of billions of people. Everybody's going through their day, in an automatic habitual way, and a lot of people, like I said, don't know how to deal with their emotions. So what's important is to say, hey, you know what? Do some introspection. If you're triggered, beautiful opportunity to do some healing. If you're triggered, beautiful opportunity to bring love to that part of you that's hurting. If somebody else is triggered and throwing, beautiful opportunity to send them some loving. So there's always an opportunity for love, right? And then when you start living this way, I can only tell you from my personal experience, it's so much easier to be in this earthly play without having a protection mode, without saying I need to run away from this person, I only love this person, blah, blah, blah. It's just like all of that limits the universe from opening us, from expanding us, from us really being free to live in this earthly reality without having to worry about, can I go here, can I not go here, is that person, blah, 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 all those things. So anyways, I hope this video inspired you. I know it was like a rampage, but I hope this video inspired you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 ways or another. There was a lot of information in here. Feel free to go back and watch it. Feel free to text, send me a message if you have any questions about the video, either in the comments below or in a private message. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And if you would like to work with me, I would love to support you on your journey and hold a space of love for you while you start to discover, uncover your talents, gifts, and abilities, and also heal those parts of you that are asking for some compassion and loving, and to get to know more of who you are, because you are a beautiful, radiant, and shining star. All right, I know you can do this if you choose. I believe in you, and I love you.